Hello, everyone. Happy full moon. I am here for Goddess Oracle card pulls for for June's full moon. I'm excited to be here, excited to channel some goddess messages for anyone who joins live. If you're here, say hello. Let me know how your full moon is going, if there's anything that you're working on releasing under this full moon. And if you'd like a card pull, do let me know. As I'm kind of waiting for people to trickle in, let me share with you guys what deck I'm using. So I usually use my Goddess Guidance Oracle cards, which is a very old card deck by Doreen Virtue. But I was guided today at the last minute. I had to run downstairs before we got started to get this deck, which is the Goddess Oracle deck by Katia Perez. This is a really cute deck. So I'm excited to use it. And as I'm waiting, I will pull a card for us as a collective first. So if you're watching this, please feel free to take any message that comes for the collective, or even if you're sitting and listening to other people's messages, and if something really resonates with you, please do take it. You know, we're creating a collective energy all together, and sometimes, even though there's a specific message for a particular person, that message may have been to come through to you as well. So do take it if it resonates with you. Okay, let me just check in here. Okay, let me set the intention. Calling in the goddesses for us to receive a message. Whoever is here live and watches this on replay, under this June full moon, a message of guidance and wisdom. Okay. Oh, this is so interesting. So our card is on this card, there's the goddess, and then there's an affirmation. So I will tune into the goddess's energy and then also read you the affirmation. And actually, this is quite interesting that hell came up because I have the accompanying book to this deck. And each day I've been going through a different goddess story, and hell was the goddess of the day. In the book that I read for myself today. So very interesting that she's showing up again today. That doesn't feel like a coincidence at all. So Hell is a goddess that's of death and transformation. And you see she's kind of pictured here as one side being a skeleton, a dead figure, and the other side being a beautiful maiden. That's how she is supposed to appear. And it reflects the light and shadow within us. So I think there's a message here really about honoring both sides of you and honoring both your challenging experiences and emotions and heavier experiences and emotions and your lighter ones, and to recognize that they are both here to teach you things and to help you grow. And there is power in both of them. She is definitely also a goddess of transformation. And so I feel like what wants to come through is Hell saying that she's here to guide you through the transformations in your life, particularly the ones in which you have to allow some part of you to die in order to move forward, to blossom. Right. And so don't be afraid of that. That's part of the process here. And it's how you step into your next phase and your next level. And sometimes it's also how you find your power. And let me read the affirmation to you. Each challenge helps me to grow and step into my power. So that is something to keep in mind as you go through into the next cycle of the moon and into the coming weeks. That every challenge, if you encounter a challenge, look at it as this is an opportunity to grow. This is an opportunity to help me become more powerful. How can I handle this challenge in such a way that helps me connect to my power, step into my power, express my power? All of those things are important here. Okay, so I hope that resonates for you guys. All right. So I do have my list of people who are from my Empathic Goddess Haven Facebook group who are welcome to ask for cards to watch on the replay. So if you'd like that ability, please feel free to join us over there. And I try to do some card pulls in there as well, and some energy healing sessions, some challenges. So come and join us over there. I will leave a link in the description box. And as I wait for anybody else to join live, I will start to go through their messages. Okay, we're going to pull a message first for Rachel R. Message from the goddesses. Rachel, your goddess message is Sana. And she, I believe, is a Norse goddess of the sun. And the affirmation is I shine my light and unleash my inner radiance. So this card feels like all about just really glorying in being yourself and shining your light and not keeping yourself small, not hiding yourself, not going into hermit mode, but really kind of like getting out there, being free to express yourself, know that you are a bright light in the world and really cultivate that energy for yourself and call on Sana to help with that. And that your affirmation, like I said, I shine my light and unleash my inner radiance. Okay, beautiful. Rachel, I love that for you. Okay, now we have a card for Sharon N. And if you're here live, please feel free to say hello in the comments and let me know if you would like a card for yourself. Sharon N, message for Sharon. Okay. Sharon, your card is the goddess Idun. I actually don't know if I'm saying that correctly, so I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. But she's this beautiful, flowery, abundant-looking goddess. And let me read you her message, her affirmation. Finding a moment of joy every day rejuvenates my spirit. Okay. And so I feel like there's a real call here, Sharon, to intentionally bring your focus to points in the day that bring you some bit of joy, happiness, gratitude, even if it's the smallest thing. It's a stranger giving you a smile as you walk by them, a task that you felt you completed well or you were happy with, a song that you enjoy, that you listen to, whatever it is, start to notice those moments of joy because noticing each moment starts to really retrain our minds, and our nervous system to start to scan for more of those. And that begins to uplift our mood, uplift our spirits, uplift our vibration. So really important to be intentionally looking for joy. I would even suggest writing these things down. There's such a thing as a joy journal, just like there is a gratitude journaling, similar idea. Both are extremely useful and kind of an overlapping concept, but write down those moments, those little moments that bring you joy. They're going to start to add up and create a shift in your mood to the positive and bring in more joy for you. All right, so this is a process of noticing those bits of joy. Okay, Sharon, I hope that's helpful and that resonates. Okay, let us go to Terry Sue. Card for Terry Sue. Okay, Terry Sue, your card is Istra, and she's a beautiful goddess of spring, of rebirth. And the affirmation is each new cycle of life brings hope and adventure. Okay, so this is a beautiful goddess to be connecting with and to come in for you, Terry Sue, that signals rebirth, that new things are coming, that you're stepping into a new phase. And so to keep your energy focused on what you're feeling hopeful for, what you desire to call in for yourself, and to allow it to be an adventure, to have fun with it. Um, and she's also a goddess of fertility. And the rabbit is very much a symbol of fertility that she's holding here. And so, that this feels like this is a more abundant and fertile time for you to be going into. So trust in that, set your intentions for that, and be open to how that abundance shows up for you. Beautiful, Terry Sue. Okay. If you're here, say hello. I'd love to pull a card for you. As I'm waiting, I will move on to the next person. We're going to go to Melissa T. Card for Melissa T. Melissa, your goddess is Yemaya. Sorry, it took me a second to think of the pronunciation. And so such a beautiful and soothing and powerful looking card. And her affirmation is calmness flows through over me and soothes my soul. And so, if this feels like, Melissa, that it's important for you to focus on staying calm, on anxiety management, on cultivating things that help bring you into that calm and flowing state, not being all up in your head, but just kind of like being in the flow. And I think we've pulled for you, Melissa, several times, water goddesses. And we've talked about cleansing and clearing with water being important. And I feel like this card is another confirmation of that. So continue. I think you sometimes do spiritual baths, continue those, continue spending time around water. And mostly, though, focusing on that calmness. Almost I'm getting a sense of you visualizing your mind like a lake. And then, if there's a ripple in the lake, is something you're anxious about, just letting it ripple until the lake calms again. And that can be the visualization. You just notice the thought and then let it go and bring the lake of your mind back to calmness. Okay. So there's something about connecting to that energy, Melissa, that's important right now. Okay. Beautiful, guys. Let me just cross people off my list. Let's go to Bailey. Bailey P. Message for Bailey from the goddesses. So your goddess Bailey is Arianod. Some of these goddesses I only read and don't say out loud, so I apologize, or don't often say out loud. So I apologize if I mispronounce that. But that's how I read it in my head. So her, first of all, I love this like moon thing she has in between her hands. Feels like a good reminder to set intentions with the moon. I feel like that's a useful practice for you, Bailey, if it's not something you're doing already. If you are, continue to do it. And then the affirmation is my thoughts manifest my reality. Okay. So keep yourself focused on the reality you would like to create for yourself, not worries or fears or what's not possible. Um, I feel like that's an important part of this process for you, Bailey, right now. And, that doesn't mean that it has to be done perfectly or that you have to stress out about what you're thinking. We're all human. We all have thoughts that sometimes are not in alignment with where we want to go or have fear or have some like worry or fear attached to them. That's not that big of a deal as long as the majority of them and the major vibration you're holding is of where you want to go, hopeful optimism about that, thinking about what's possible for you, fantasizing about those things. All of those are excellent things to do. And if you notice the occasional fearful thought, not a big deal. Just kind of notice it. Maybe question, why is it coming up for me? What do I have to learn from that? What might that be signaling to me about what I need to heal so I can be even more in alignment with the reality I want to create? Okay. So, Bailey, I feel like that's the message for you. Okay. I hope that is helpful and resonates, Bailey. Okay, now we have Jill. Okay, Jill, your card is the beautiful Demeter, Greek goddess of the harvest. Her affirmation is I nurture growth in myself and in nature. So I'm definitely getting a vibe, Jill, of especially since it's nice and sunny and well, frankly, quite hot right now. Spending time outside would be very beautiful, perhaps when it's not like at the peak of the heat of the day, but in the early morning or in the evening, grounding yourself, looking at and getting something about looking at the abundance of nature, how there's so many leaves, so many trees, so many blades of glass, of, of grass, not glass. Um, to help you connect to the energy of abundance, and I'm hearing like limitlessness. Okay. And to nurture yourself right now. The affirmation, once again, is I nurture growth in myself. It feels like this is a big time of growth for you. So that could be, personally, spiritually, in some realm of your life that you're growing. And so it's important to kind of nurture yourself through that. Sometimes periods of growth need more self care, more self nurturance. So tap into that energy if that resonates with you. Um, but in general, just this feels like a very positive energy around growth and abundance for you. And allowing yourself to expand and become more limitless. Okay. So Jill, I hope that made sense and that resonates. Okay. Let's go to Cassidy. Cassidy B. Cassidy, your card is Pele. Your goddess is Pele, a Hawaiian goddess of volcanoes, creation, destruction, and creation, transformation. And she says her affirmation for you is I follow my passion and act with honor and integrity. Right. And so, to me, Cassidy, this card is feeling very much like, okay, well, I'm getting a couple different things. First of all, the straightforward message of follow your passion. What do I have here? Follow your passion. Um, that feels like there's going to be certain things that get you really excited, really light you up, and they are meant for you to explore, to follow. So allow yourself to do that. Secondly, there's a little bit of an energy. Pele can be connected to the concept of sacred rage, right? She's a volcano goddess. So sometimes she explodes and she's okay with that. That's how she releases, how she sweeps obstacles out of her path, how she sets boundaries, and how she creates fertile new soil for growth. So if there is something that's bringing up some anger within you, trust. Okay, I'm going to say a couple things about that. Trust that that anger is showing you something important, and it may be, a way your boundaries are being crossed, or that some issue or value is especially important to you. So don't be afraid to express yourself, to stand up for yourself, to say something is not okay with you, that kind of thing. There also may be some older anger that's coming up right now. I'm kind of feeling like this was like something that was maybe a little suppressed, or didn't have the opportunity to be expressed before for some reason. I don't know exactly why. Maybe you're told not to express your anger, or just the situation did not allow it, but it's still there and it needs to be released. So Pele is kind of talking about, like, allowing yourself to release it, spending some time reflecting on this anger, putting it out in a journal, like screaming into a pillow, dancing it out, like some way to move that energy if this resonates with you and it feels like there's something that's bubbling up from the past. And actually creating a video right now. It's kind of funny that this card came up and that message came up right before this. I was working on a video about how to release um, energetic attachments to difficult relationships or situations or toxic relationships or people. And also, this connects to releasing old feelings that we're holding on to us, a ritual to use to do that. So I'll be posting that very shortly, Cassidy. If this resonates with you, you can also use what I'm talking about in that video as a ritual to do to help you release. Um, and then the other part I'm being drawn to is honor and integrity. And so I feel like there's a message here, Cassidy, about really making sure that choices that you make, things you let into your life, um, what else? Content you consume, like whatever it is in integrity, which to me partially very much means in alignment with what feels right and true for you, and that your action is that way as well. So if you find yourself making decisions that don't feel completely right, or self-sabotaging, or doing behaviors that don't feel like they actually feel right for you, they're not actually you and your integrity, it feels like a time to pause, to reflect, to see what's going on there, what's triggering that process for you, and then come back to yourself and come back to what feels in integrity to you powerfully. And that may connect to some of this old anger energy I'm getting that's coming up. It may be some of that is causing you to do things or say things or think things that aren't in alignment with who you truly are. So when you are able to process and release that old anger, that's part of bringing yourself back into alignment and integrity. Okay, so I hope that all made sense, Cassidy, and that resonates. Let me know. Okay, so I have made my way through my list of people. I see that there are a couple people watching live, but I'm not seeing any comments. So I don't know if that's a YouTube thing, something that happens to me that the comments are delayed. So if that's the case, I'm sorry I haven't seen you yet. If it's not the case and you're just a little shy, no need to be shy. Welcome. Say hello. I'm friendly. I don't bite, and I'd be happy to pull a card for you from the goddesses if you would like one. So I'll wait a few minutes, see if anybody would like a card. While I'm waiting for that, let me share with you guys that I'll be soon setting the dates and posting for July's live energy healing session and live full moon goddess oracle card poll. So keep a lookout for that if you would like to participate in either of those things. And then you're always welcome to come join us over in the Facebook group where we do more frequent card pulls, energy healing challenges, things to help facilitate our personal growth, our ascension process, our manifestation processes. Would love to have you join. Okay, I'm not seeing any other comments come through. So I'm going to bid you guys good evening. I look forward to seeing you next time. And I hope you have a wonderful full moon.